It's called the time.
They ask me what I am, just a Florida nigga. Wanna test me, cross that border nigga. Better learn how to swim, you jump in that water nigga. Nothing left to prove in that order nigga. They ask me what I am, just a Florida nigga.
So it's all right.
But you feel the vibe.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
know,
sir. Yes, sir.
You feel the love. You know, you see what's going on. The question, as an educator here in this place, I can only answer that one way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But on the other hand, you came up in here today trying to show something to improve the lives of our people.
Yes, sir.
So the language doesn't have a whole lot to do with it at that point.
Right.
It's the mission. It's
goal.
the mess. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me more about what you're up to.
Well, like I said, independent artist. So pretty much I did a concert, unplugged concert that I put on myself. I'm the headliner. I pretty much perform a lot of my music with a live band. So I feel like I make it intimate. I feel like they getting their money's worth for one. But I want you to feel like you're getting ready for an experience. It's easy for an artist to just go on stage, let their DJ press play.
Where did you do it?
Orlando. We did everything ourselves. From decoration, to setting up the chairs, to the stage, the lights, everything.
One thing I've learned through the years is that sometimes it's hard to understand why one artist would resonate with a community and another one won't. And the one person I think is a great case study in that is someone who, when she first came on the scene, it was really hard for her to get my attention because I grew up in the era of the Chaka Khans and those kind of singers who would, you know, when Mary J. Blige came around singing songs that Chaka had already sung, I said to myself, well, you just never do that,
Right.
you know, because why would a woman sing a song that Chaka Khan has already owned? Now, later, of course, Whitney did it, but she had Clive Davis's power behind her. So, but when I look back on those years with Mary J. Blige, I now see somebody who represented something to a specific community. Whether she was really that or not is another conversation.
Exactly.
And then years later, I worked with her, and what I found was her to be strikingly pretty when she walked in the room. I hadn't seen that part before. She was always presented kind of like hard, you know?
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with her immediately when I saw her. She was gorgeous. I mean, just stunning. And she had done all the work to prepare for a session that was outside of her genre. It was a big project, and she was on it with a lot of her celebrities, and I was the vocal coach on it. She came in so prepared. And she showed me what a great professional she was. And then I realized that that thing that had happened for her those many, many years ago when she was like the first singer out of the hip-hop era. We take it for granted now.
Right.
But once something is successful, but there's a time before it happens when it's always a mystery. And so what I see with you is I see entrepreneurship, I see an aesthetic that's quite different. I think the more that you can do to have that band thing happen with not just them and then you,
Right.
but with them and you.
Yeah.
And the more that you can capture, because even before you showed me this, I was saying, well, I hope you recorded it. And you can actually have, if you can get great audio recordings, you can actually have records that way too.
Yeah, that's how I actually plan on doing that. Yeah.
Because that's so different.
Yeah, it's different. I like the atmosphere. Like, I honestly, if I could perform that way every time, I would rather perform with the band instead of just having like a DJ. I mean, that's cool, but it's something about that band.
This is one thing you can do though, because you're not afraid, is that you can actually advance a band at any town you go to.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to be like the cats who you always play with. But they can just like, you know, here's what it is, this is what I do, and everybody needs work.
Yeah.
And the way I've been able to work with everybody from Quincy Jones on down for 40-something years is people need work. So I ask myself, what do they need? And sometimes they don't even know what they need. But they'll tell you what they think they want, and then your job is to figure out how to make that work for them. You show up in a town and a band who's already playing in this town, for instance. You wouldn't even have to bring people around. We got enough players here. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my thing. This is how it goes. you can get in. I think it's a really nice aesthetic.
Trying to put these plans together. I hate road bumps, but we just kept pushing until at the end of the day, I know what I want the end result to be. I know what I can get out of it. I know what other people can get out of it. And that's the thing. I don't think selfishly. I take myself out of the situation. What can I give back to somebody else?
You
I
know?
know what people can get taken, like what they can take from it at the end of the night.
And you'll be all right then.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be all right. I really want you to hear this because what you did for those kids, I want to do it for you. He said, I know some really, really nice guys who are in the world of rap. And keep in mind, he's worked with these big shots.
Right.
He has worked with Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing bigger than that.
Exactly.
So let me just tell you what he said to me. He said, now I know some of these hip-hop guys, rap stars, and he says, the nice guys and their managers will come to them and say, we need a scandal.
Mm-hmm.
We need a scandal. Murder, robbery, guns. We need something. Get it. Or I'm on to the next person.
But
That's really important to hear. I'm not a hater. I'm just telling you what this young man said sitting right in front of me. He's probably in his early 30s. He's been around. And right now he's doing a blue collar job. My opportunity is to see to it that brothers like this, like you, can realize that when one of us wins, we all should win. As opposed to the way the industry does to us. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. Mind control. Just got to stay focused, you know. So that's why I appreciate. I'm talking this way to you because you went there with the students. So I just want to keep going in that line. You told the students, you said, you know, make the most of this. Look at what this is. So I want to make sure that I give you that as well.
I continue to do that.
So you get Zachary's contact information.
Definitely got it.
Great.
Definitely got it.
And think about when you might want to come up again, what you might want to do. Make it, you know, we could have you meet with a class. We could have you get out and, do one of your concerts. Zach, you need to check out the Unplugged that they did. It's really, really strong.
Ride with it off a sector, through the city with the fire. On they upper echelon, we don't fuck with basics. All my niggas beat their cases, all my niggas beat the tribe. My exes tried, but they can't replace me. Ride with it off a sector, through the city with the fire. On they upper echelon, we don't fuck with basics. All my niggas beat their cases, all my niggas beat the tribe. My exes tried, but they can't replace me. My exes tried, but they can't replace me.
Well, good evening, guys. It's Calvin Sykes here, program director, and we got a special guest here. I'm gonna let him introduce himself along with a special contributor over there, Sierra over there. So go ahead, introduce yourself.
How y'all doing out there? My name is Saint.
So Saint decided to stop by. We're gonna give him a quick little interview. So I see you guys. You have kind of like a lot of projects out. Right. By far, just explain to me your music journey so far.
Well, I got into music at a young age, around 11. Been rapping, doing my thing for quite some time. I actually, when I was in Atlanta, I took it serious. That was around like 2011, between 2011 and 2013 was really when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this for sure. Like really take it serious, making my craft and just go for it.
So when you say like go for it, you kind of have this interesting journey of being like independent. So what are some struggles of being an independent artist, especially from Daytona at that?
Exactly. Well, for one, being from Daytona, we have no major resources. So coming from a small city like that, where it's not too many, as far as I can say, like big showcases for artists, certain things like that. You kind of just got to really, really network. Get out there, put your face out there, really get your name out. Doing small showcases where only maybe 10 to 15 people might show up. Doing something small like that till you build up and grow. That's just all a part of the independent grind. Some people willing to do it, some people not willing to do it. Being told no a lot. You know what I'm saying? Being told no a lot. Just staying focused, to be honest. I mean, it's not for the weak. So if you really, really want it, you got to go for it. So it's simple as that.
Would you say that being told no a lot kind of contributed to the artist that you are today?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Because it kept me pushing. I feel like if you can't, with this type of career path that we choose as far as artists, you can't necessarily let your feelings get into the way of a lot. because you're gonna hear no plenty of times. Because I understand it's a show me world. Some people, if they don't know you, they don't really know what you do. They might not be receptive to just accept what you got going on and say, hey, come over here, let's do this, let's work. Like even being on here with y'all, it's a blessing, but it took time. I have been trying to get over here for a minute with y'all. You know what I mean? I used to go to FAMU, so it was, some time, but now I'm here. I just kept pushing.
What other factors would you say kind of contributed to your drive and your motivation to just keep going with music?
I love it. I love the process. I love the whole process. You gotta love what you do. You gotta have a passion for what you're doing. If your heart in it, you might as well find something else to do. So for me, my heart in it, I ain't ever really want to do nothing else but music. So I was willing to take every criticism, every bit of criticism. Being told no, it didn't just deteriorate me. It didn't make me say, dang, I want to quit or I should do something else. Like I just stuck with it. Because I knew what I had. You gotta know your vision. You gotta know what you got. You gotta understand your passion and your purpose. That's number one. You gotta find your purpose in what you're doing. A lot of people not gonna understand your vision. It's your vision. It's not really meant for other people to understand until you're able to show them what you can do. So,
if you don't mind sharing, what would you say that your vision is?
The ultimate, I feel like my ultimate goal and my number one purpose is to touch people. You know what I mean? Like prime example, I just did an Unplugged show. I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with Unplugged and stuff. So I just did an Unplugged show back in August. Every person that came to the show, when they left with an experience. They left saying, I really enjoyed it. I love what you do. You're doing great. Keep going. Keep going. That's the motivation. But see, you have to get to that point of motivation. A lot of you not going to jump out the gate and go straight to a success. It has to grow. So.
Do you have a lot of support back home?
Yeah, definitely. It got to start from home, to be honest. It got to start from home, or at least a foundation. But your city, the first to love and the first to hate you, so it go hand in hand. So.
Okay. What would you say kind of inspired your sound, I guess?
Life experiences, what I've been through, what I've seen firsthand. So a lot of life.
So you find it important to kind of just tell stories through your music?
Right. Exactly. I can't say nothing in my music that's not true. I've either done it myself or I've seen it physically. So I can't talk about nothing like, I'm not knocking no artists or nothing like that, but a lot of people, I feel like they talk about stuff that they might not necessarily be living. Everything I talk about, I'm living it. Or I've seen it with my own eyes, or I know somebody who's been through the situation.
So how does that kind of help with your creative process?
I mean, a lot. Honestly, for me, it's not a struggle with the creative process either. Because as long as I've experienced and I've been through it, I know how to talk about it. I can tell you about it from maybe a different perspective. We probably could have went through the same thing, but I can see it from a different light. I can tell you, okay, well, this is what happened to me, and this is how I went through it. It might be the same situation, but we just went through it differently. So,
what do you hope that people get from your music and from the stories that you are telling?
Just honesty and pure art. It's art. That's all it is for me. It's art. I love what I do. So anything, I feel like what I want people to take from me is purpose. So when you hear my voice and you hear what I'm speaking on, you see what I'm saying. You can paint the picture yourself. You know what I mean? You can listen to my music and say, okay, I see what type of artist he is. He not just a here for the moment type of rapper. I'm here for the longevity. I'm trying to be an icon, but in my own right. I don't want to compare myself to nobody. As far as being an icon, I just want to be an icon in my own right.
Okay, and you've been in the game for quite some time now, so what's some advice that you have for new artists or people who do want to kind of be where you are right now?
Keep pushing. First off, find your purpose. That's number one. Keep God first, of course, also. Pray. Find you a solid team. Put people around you who are willing to help your vision come to life, but you also willing to help their vision too. Don't go into anything with a selfish mindset. Sometimes you got to put your own pride and your own self to the side for the whole team to be able to come together and build something and make it work. Your team got to be solid. Each one help one. Iron sharpens iron. So find you a solid team that you can get with, and y'all help flourish and make the whole ship run together.
Okay.
So now, talk about, I see you have kind of 3 projects, Nothing Left to Prove, Push It, and Describing Personality. So talk about each of those projects and kind of like what was that process like of, creating that content, creating that music out so your listeners could have it available on Spotify and things of those nature.
All right. What's actually 4?
Okay.
I just did None Left to Prove 2.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with DIP. Describing personality. That's my introduction to the game. So that was me just kind of giving people different sides of myself, which is why it's called Describing Personality. So you got like the turn up vibe, you got the conscious rap, party, little stuff in there. That was my introduction. So that was people just getting to know me as Saint. So that's what that was. Second go around was Push Up. Push Up was more so. Push Up for me was a little weird because I found myself in a position where it was like, okay, I just came off of DIP. I was kind of afraid to get caught into that first project box where you can't really top it.
Okay.
So I wanted to kind of go somewhere different creatively. So Push Up, I was kind of experimenting, but it still came out pretty dope. Push Up was I think Push Up was my filler. If I can call that a fill-in project, it was probably more like a fill-in project. Okay, got the first one out. Let me see where I can go with this one. That's what that was.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about, I know you just talked about your support system and just having a good team. Can you tell me a little bit about your team?
Right now, shout out to Speedway Music. We got Rashina, which is pretty much my manager. Morgan, she's pretty much the assistant to Rashina. My cameraman, Leif. Shout out to my other cameraman, Charlie Sky. Tony's kind of like my road manager. And that's pretty much it right now. We still building. So it's still piecing together, but right now I got the pieces to help it move. We at a good pace right now. So for a minute I was doing a lot of stuff on my own, and I realized like even with this situation, I couldn't have been the artist also trying to reach out to 90.5. You know what I mean? Like I probably could have, but I feel like you have to sometimes when you sit away from the table, you can name your price if that makes sense. So I felt like for me, I couldn't be trying to do all this on my own and everything just gonna fall into place. It don't work like that.
So with that being said, kind of like now, where do you see yourself 5 years in the game from now?
5 years in the game from now, hopefully, I still want to run the independent route. But hopefully, if anything, maybe joint venture deal with a major label. Should be first album going on my second. Couple of investments. Working towards my own label. I want to branch off and do some film too, so maybe a little bit of acting. Definitely maybe signing a few artists. I should have at least 2 artists under my belt by then. So, yeah.
Okay. And then shifting gears, kind of, what would you say is your reason why?
My reason why I should go. For one, myself. I've been doing this for a long time, so even before I could say my family, I had to say me, because before anybody else believed in me, I believed in myself. So I wouldn't dare let myself down or give up because of what other people think or the naysayers and stuff like that. Secondly, then I would say my family. The people that's been with me from day one, people that supported, believed in me. It's a lot of people that show the support. I just can't let them down. So that's a big purpose. And then people like y'all, you know what I'm saying? I might be able to gain you as a fan. I might be able to gain you as a fan. And then you look back and say, man, we have him right here on 90.5, whatever the case is, whoop de whoop, and we just been following him ever since. And y'all see the process, you see the growth. I think the best thing is to be able to see an artist get from one point to the next point. And hopefully somewhere along the line they don't lose themselves. So.
Who are a few of the artists that you admire and kind of pick from?
J. Cole, of course Kendrick, Jay, Nas, who else? Grew up on like Hot Boys, who else? And not purposely trying to make a record like the artists I listen to, but once it's stuck in your head, you might find yourself kind of mimicking that same type of style. So I just try to listen to all kind of music to just broaden my whole spectrum, my horizon.
Okay, in what ways would you say that you've seen music change since it first became like one of your biggest passions to now?
Well, it's really changed majorly. When I first was really like in love with the music, it was more storytelling. It was more, you could, as you listening to the song, you can see it happening. You can paint the picture in your head. Now it's just kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's more about just cadence as far as like, how can this make you bob your head? You know what I'm saying? Really, when you listen to a song, I feel like the first thing that catches you is the beat. Then you might go back and listen to the lyrics. But even with the lyrics, it's a lot of times just a catchy hook, catchy cadence that just keep you bobbing. Something simple.
Yeah, for the interview, keep it locked on 90.5 The Flavor Station. I'm Calvin Sykes.
I'm Sierra Mims.
It's Saint. I really appreciate this, man. We came off the road.
Where are you coming from?
Orlando. I had went to Dr. Took's class.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke to the class over there. Then we came here earlier. And I know what it is, man. It's your boy Saint. Keep it locked right here, 90.5 The Flavor Station.
All right, cool. That's perfect.
Through the city with the top back. Off for safety, we ain't riding where the cops at. No. If I want it, I'ma cop that. I just wanna feed the hood and buy the block back. If the shoes don't fit, don't tie them laces. If she ain't riding, then my bitch replace her. Taking shots to the head, we don't do no chaser. And if we talking, we ain't talking basic. If we speaking overall, she said I'm a favorite. Yeah. Ain't got no patience, ain't got time for waiting. I've been grinding for a minute, now it's time to take it. I'm done playing with you niggas, now it's time to face it. I'm the greatest.